We're going to jump right into it. The salary cap. How about this salary cap, John? It's up 13%. It ends up being $30.6 million to the salary cap this year, 2024. It's a hell of a lot of teams out there that are pretty excited about seeing that number and that eye-popping number, because now it's moved to $255 million per team in terms of spend, which opens up for a lot of them. It gives a little bit of room for some of them. And in certain cases, like Detroit, suddenly they've got an incredible amount of money, John, because they've got the opportunity now to go out there with, they were already under the cap. Now, all of a sudden, with this cap going up $30 million, the biggest part of the reason on why the NFL is doing so well, playoffs average 38.5 million viewers, which breaks every record they've ever had for viewership since they started in 1988, when they started looking at that. It was up 9% for the playoffs from 22 to 23. That was another big number. The seasonal average, John, 17.9 million viewers, up another 7%. Who are the top two most watched teams this year?
Well, Kansas City Chiefs.
You got it. Yeah, I know.
I would say San Francisco, but the market's not big enough, Pete. So I'm going to say Dallas.
You're right. You are right on both. And we all know why the Chiefs had that number. It was not just because of Patrick Mahomes and everybody else, the wonderful players that play on that team. But, well, you get the Taylor Swift effect and everything else. And by the way, I was looking it up. It was all season. It wasn't just playoffs. It wasn't just Super Bowl and everything else. Taylor Swift with the Swifties did bring a lot more women into liking it, or at least watching football. I don't know how much they liked it or not, and girls and everything else. So the NFL is absolutely crushing it, John. And I think these numbers going from where they were to where they are, 225 million to 255 million. Your team, it gets more and more interesting to me all the time, because I look at your quarterback and what everybody's talking about and wanting to trade him and this and that and the other. I don't know, John. There could be something done there that's very close to what we saw happen in Houston this past year. I think if the Bears do it right, they got number 1 and number 9. If they do it right and maybe trade down with that number 1, they still have a great opportunity to get who they wanted anyway. Keep the daggone quarterback you have. Just let him play like he did in college. Don't try to change him into Peyton Manning, for God's sake. Let the guy play football. I mean, if you wonder why the MVP of the league is the MVP of the league, they let Lamar Jackson play Lamar Jackson football. He runs the ball. He led the team in Baltimore, with rushing. He also is the quarterback. He's throwing the ball all over the place. The guy's pretty amazing, but they let him do it. And that's what I think the Bears are going to have to do. But I don't know. What do you think of this salary cap? Is this unreal or what?
The Bears throw around nickels like they're manhole covers. They are likely to trade Justin Fields, sadly, because he has a great talent, Pete, and a nice young man, too.
Yeah.
From the little bit of interaction that I've ever had around him. Great kid, great family. The Bears, like I say, they can save millions, tens of millions of dollars per year, because his next contract after this year, Pete, is going to be one of those eye-watering contracts because he's that good. Somebody else will give him that money. And so the Bears, if they just lose him, because if they don't sign him, they'll franchise tag him and then they'll lose him or whatever. Well, the benefits that the clubs get, Pete is 100% correct about $255 million is the salary cap. That's salary. Now, they can also do performance-based pay when they say that, if you get us to the Super Bowl, we'll give you another $2 million or whatever. Do you know how much that is per team now?
I don't. I really don't.
$54 million. So effectively, if you're the GM of a team, folks, you could say, I got a $255 million salary cap. Salary means, of course, you have to pay that, assuming the player's on the roster for the entire year. You have to pay him, some part of his percentage of that. You have another $74 million that could be incentive or performance-based pay. So you could have a guy like Justin Fields, Pete, and you could say, you know what? We're going to pay you $10 million if you can get us to the NFC Championship game. We're going to give you another $20 million if you get us to the Super Bowl. You've only spent $30 of your $74 million on performance pay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Bears are going to do it because, again, they throw around nickels like manhole covers. That's an interesting factoid that I thought I'd share with all the viewers.
And I knew that they had that in there. I didn't know what the number was, though. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's
Crazy. It went up along with the cap, of course.
yeah.